Hey guys, Doc here to tell you about something that could really give you the edge in gaming. I'm talking about our show sponsor, Fade Grips. Thumbstick grips as well as controller grips that give comfort, precision, and control so you can take your gaming to the next level. Just go to fadegrips.store and check out all they have to offer. And with our promo code, CAG20, at checkout, you can get 20% off your entire order. That's fadegrips.store with offer code CAG20.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 40 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host Risky the Kid, and joining me this week is my co-host Doc H1X1.
Hey.
And in our rotating third and fourth chairs, community members Moose.
I'm back.
So soon.
Sorry.
And 10,000 Fists.
Hello.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Not too
Doing
bad.
well.
Perfect. First up, just to get some stuff out of the way, our survey is closed. The survey that we talked about last week, just a general survey about the podcast, that is done. So I just wanted to thank everybody who wrote in and gave us feedback. We'll be going through that, and maybe you'll start to see some changes coming shortly here. Next up, Chocolate isn't here, so I will talk about it. We do have a Pod Wars update against Real Gamer Score. That should be going down the 23rd of February. That's a Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're playing Griffball on Halo 5.
Yeah. Nice.
If you want to watch that, you can tune into twitch.tv/crossatlanticgaming, and it will be live there. We'll obviously also have the VOD up for it on the YouTube channel shortly after that goes down. And I think, Fists, you might be joining us with that, I think?
I'm hoping to, as long as he's pick me as the person you want joining us, then sure, I'll be more than happy to do that.
We heard you're a Griffball veteran.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Judging by your Griffball talk in the chat, you are definitely the pick.
Yeah.
Can I ask what's a griff ball?
no idea.
Okay,
Help.
sweet.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Well, at least me and you know what it is.
Fist,
Yusuf,
what is
so.
it? Or one of you.
Okay, so Griffball is you've got two teams of four people. There is a bomb in the middle of an arena. Each team of four has like a pad on their side of each side of their arena, and the team has to get into the center, grab the bomb, and place it on the opponent's pad to score a point. And it's basically the first team to score a set number of points. And each person is armed with two weapons: an energy sword and a gravity hammer, and that's it.
Yep. It's chaotic.
Like it's
Because you got the lunge with the sword, and then the hammer is just like, obviously, it's just devastating. So
yeah, that's like an area of effect type of weapon. Like you can sometimes get like two, maybe three of the team with like one swing of that thing if they're all close enough.
yeah, get used to hearing the sound that hammer makes when it hits, because you'll hear that a lot during the match.
Yeah, that's the weapon most people will use in a Griffball game. I don't want to say too much and give away tactics or anything. I know, just in case I'm giving away tactics to the other team here. So
Yeah, don't do that.
No.
Bad idea.
They don't listen.
Probably not.
I'm kidding.
True.
All I'm envisioning, though, is American Gladiators Powerball. So if that's not it, I'm out.
Super far from that, necessarily.
Cool. Sweet.
Yeah.
So make sure you tune in then.
I'll
Give it a
definitely be
shot.
hoping to get us all together and get maybe like even just one little small session of practice in before the actual Pod Wars.
I'm gonna be
hopefully.
honest, Fists. We've talked about practicing for every single one of these games
And never done
haven't
it.
practiced for a single one of them.
Oh,
To be
man.
fair, the more we talked about practice, the least likely I was to have the game downloaded and ready to go.
Well,
So-
I've been
You, the Allen
pestering
Iverson
you
quote.
about the keeping Halo updated every time
No,
I see it.
Yeah, I actually hop on that every now and then, anyways. So yeah, that one's been a mainstay on the hard drive. So
Cool.
Up next, I just wanted to let everyone know that our mailbag episode is next episode. So if you want to send in questions for that, you can send them to cagpodcast@gmail.com, or we have an open channel in our Discord where you can lay the questions out there. We have a decent amount so far, so get your questions in. Anyways, with that, another week in gaming. What have we all been playing? I'm going to start with Crackdown 3 because I haven't been playing it, but Moose and Doc, you guys have both been playing it. Came out this past Friday in Game Pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
So, Moose, why don't you give us your first impressions of Crackdown 3?
Well, just like Kingdom Hearts, Crackdown 3 is where I decided to jump in the series. So,
All right,
not sure why. But probably
there's a
'cause
lot
it
of
was-
lore you're probably missing, but I'll get you up to speed later.
Yeah, probably because I've been anticipating this title since, 2014? So,
I think that's accurate. Actually.
I've been hyped since 2016. So, when I got it on the hard drive, I had no expectations for anything, and I've had a lot of fun. I'd say the most fun thing is to just grab a trash can, and you can literally snipe somebody from 500 yards away. Just throwing it at them. It's awesome.
What?
Or
Yeah.
bodies.
It's
Or
basically
bodies.
You can
absolutely
pick up
anything that's
cars,
not nailed
dumpsters.
down. You can
Yep.
just pick it up
Knock
and
down a
throw
light
it.
pole and throw it like a spear through the air.
Yeah.
It's
Imagine,
worth 8
but,
to
like,
10 hours of your time to play through the campaign.
Yeah. Like, the best way to play this game is imagine if you were Judge Dredd in the last movie that they came out with that was actually pretty good, and Judge Dredd, and you're like with superhero powers, basically. That's basically what this is. You're like Super Cop with superhero powers.
I just found this pulse beam gun, and basically all it does is light things on fire and melt things. So I've just been
Yes.
running around making stuff explode and not doing any missions, basically.
Dude, the rocket launchers and the grenade launchers, the stuff that blow up in that game, like, I know their big gimmick is to say bring the boom, but man, the explosions in that game is so freaking cool. Like,
Yeah.
it is fun. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like the reviews aren't accurate about what the game is. Like,
Yeah, it's a hard 6.5.
yeah, the only thing I would,
Fun.
the only thing I would take issue with is that I actually think it looks pretty good considering.
Well, you got to tell the trick, Doc, because I didn't know, and I was like, God, this game looks terrible.
Yeah. So PSA, I guess. HDR is not on by default. You have to set it to on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
it
don't.
looks like a 360 game.
Yeah, don't
I
know
was
how
like,
that got out of QA, but you have to set it to on from the menu. You can't do it in game. You have to do it in the menu before you load your game in too.
Man,
so,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's weird, but does make a big difference because that game is freaking gorgeous at night too, with all like the city neon lights and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think the game looks good. It's like it is Crackdown 1 in a modern Xbox One game. It's 100% what it is. But it is super fun, and I've played it way more than I thought I would, and I'll probably end up beating it and try to get more achievements out of it.
I do think that the map, like when you bring up the map to like try and work out where different things are, is a slight bit awkward to navigate a little bit. I've found it's all the same color throughout the whole map, and so distinguishing the different areas from each other is sometimes a little bit awkward trying to work out where certain things are.
Yeah, and there's like little quality of life things to where like if you beat a orb race, it doesn't blue it out on the map. It still acts like it's there, but you have to click on it to see that you have a gold in it.
Yeah.
And there's like little things like that you're just like, I don't know how that really, got in the final product, but I don't know. It's like I said, it's fun as hell. I just unlocked a car that can drive up the side of buildings and jump over buildings and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
It's
that's
just
spider vehicle things.
It's insane. Like I said, once you get explosions going and you're just like hopping around and like, I think the thing that gets overlooked with how fun this game is how much of a platformer and how much jumping around there is and stuff like that. That is one of the funner parts of that game to me for sure.
So, how much Terry Crews is in this game?
Oh, that's who I picked.
Yeah, me
I
too.
was
Pick
like,
any
yeah.
other character. There is no other character.
Yeah, they theoretically have a lot of the other characters that were from the first game. I didn't play the second one at all, but so I recognize a lot of the ones from the first game. But yeah, like I don't know who's picking that up and not playing as Terry Crews because you might have to bleep me out real quick, Risky, but Moose will know what I'm talking about here. Funniest thing that I found in that game so far is like he has all these quips and like things Terry Crews says when he's like running around. The best one he has is you'll literally be like hopping around buildings or scaling up walls, and he'll just out of nowhere be like, "You gravity," like, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He just says stuff like that, and I'm like, that's hilarious.
Oh, there's a Bicorn moment.
Too good.
Yeah. It's really fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. He does come out with some pretty funny stuff.
He's got some dumb quips, but it's I don't know.
Well, that's good. I mean, it sounds like you guys are having fun. Like you mentioned, critically, it doesn't seem like it's doing very well, or doing very mediocre, I guess.
It's
just kind of
definitely
middle of the road.
Yeah, it's definitely, and like like me and Moose was saying, it probably is a 6.5, maybe a 7 at the best day like rating, but it is. You do get the sense on the internet right now that it's the cool thing to hate on for sure, though. I mean,
It's like
Have
if
you
you
tried the
did play
multiplayer? Have either of you
Crackdown
guys?
1.
I haven't actually. I haven't played Wrecking Zone yet, actually.
I haven't either. I gotta give that a shot still. It's like what, 4-on-4, 5-on-5. Anything
And
goes.
everything can
or-
just be
yeah.
torn down. Yeah, pretty much.
And you also can't play with your friends, correct?
Correct.
Don't know
Yeah, I
anything
didn't
about
put that in the
that.
news, but I guess that's coming in an update. Again, not
Wait,
sure how
what?
that got
There's
out of
no
QA.
matchmaking? I
but,
played with my friend yesterday.
Oh, so maybe they already put it in? Maybe?
But
Because
it
that was like
wasn't
a
Wrecking
story
Crew.
before it came out. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I played on the campaign co-op yesterday. My
Yeah,
buddy had
yeah,
already
it's the
beat
I
it.
think
Okay.
it's just the
okay.
Wrecking Crew thing.
Just Wrecking
You-
Zone, yeah.
You can't party up with your friends. Right
That's
My
now.
buddy
another
had
thing
already
we
beat
should
it, so he
say.
dropped me every gun in the game.
Yeah. That's another thing we should say. You can play the entire game co-op, which is actually really fun too. Yeah. Totally.
Can you both be Terry Crews, though?
Yes,
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
absolutely.
boy. Just him yelling about gravity 2 times the fun.
Well, like you'll like light people on fire, and it'll just be like he'll just say he says some quip about Crispy Terry or something like that. It's just he's got some good one-liners. Seriously, like it is
Yeah,
the
he doesn't
guy
take
for
it
the
too
Old Spice
seriously, for sure.
commercials. Yeah, for
It's-
sure. Like
it's Terry Crews, office linebacker.
it is so good.
So it sounds like if you're going into this game knowing what you're getting, that you should enjoy yourself because the gameplay sounds fun.
Yeah,
It's
One of
basically
those, it's like
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah.
it's basically a matter of if you played Crackdown 1 and you're familiar with how that played, you're going to very very quickly like understand the mechanics of this game and how
Totally.
it works.
Right.
Like collecting orbs. Is there lots of?
Oh,
orb
there's an
collecting?
Yes,
absolute
and
ton of collecting orbs. Yeah.
It's crack, dude. The agility orbs are crack. Like when you see them around the map, you have to go get
Yeah.
them. Like
There's
They're
so
like
many
the
times
backpacks on Spider-Man, Risky.
you're on your way
Oh,
to
okay.
like go and do a particular mission, and then you'll just get distracted by an orb, and then you'll go and collect it, and you'll be like about 20 minutes later, you've collected a ton of orbs, and you're like, what was I doing again before this?
That's
Like,
Everything in the game
you'll-
shoots a bright beam of light in the sky. So, you know.
it's so
Shiny
video
things.
gamey. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I think the consensus is like probably don't pay $60 for this, but
No,
it is
don't
a
pay anything
no-brainer
for
on
it.
Game Pass for free. Yeah.
well, I
It's
have
worth
that,
$2. I think what do they have right now? It's $2 for 2 months or something. It's
Yeah,
worth
crazy
that.
good deal.
It's worth
Yeah.
a $2 sub to.
Is that for
play.
everyone? Or is that just
No,
new
it's
people?
just
New
new
subscribers.
members.
Yeah.
Gah.
Yeah, we always get hosed.
But
Yeah, but we
another
usually
PS.
find it for half off. I feel like if you
Yeah,
catch
mine's-
it, catch
My
it. at
sub's
point.
about to run out. I'm gonna need one of you guys other than Wario64 to hook me up because I've muted the deals section of Discord.
You're missing out on gold. We'll tag you though.
Okay.
Yeah. I was about to say, if you can hold out till E3, they always do a half off 6 months at E3, and you can stack it.
Right. But yeah, go in with no expectations and you'll have a good time.
Good. All right, let's move on to a. This is a mobile game, I'm pretty sure. 10,000 Fists, Contest of Champions.
Yeah,
Is that a mobile game?
yeah,
I
it is.
shouldn't laugh.
All right,
It's-
tell us about it.
It's basically it's a Marvel game. Kind of like you. It's basically a beat 'em up sort of game where you have to collect different Marvel champions from across the Marvel universe. Different, the more star rating they've got, the stronger they can be, and you complete content like as a single player, or as you can join an alliance where there's like other people like in your alliance. You complete alliance events together and unlock more crystals to get more champions in your roster, and it's just something that
Crystals, you say?
yeah.
Can you tell Doc what the best value is if you want to buy some crystals?
Is there a picture with a lot of crystals coming out of chests for $99?
There is.
And if I were to buy that chest, would I get 20 additional crystals for free?
Oh, you don't. It's one of those games where you do have the option for microtransactions, and every mobile game does. Let's face it. There's no
I mean, it's free to
mobile.
play, right? You
There
know,
are
so-
people. There's if you were to look for that game on YouTube, there are certain YouTubers that do like specifically play it as a free to play player. They don't spend any money on the game whatsoever, and they have amazing rosters. And just to prove that it is possible to play mobile games without spending a penny on them. So it is possible. I won't lie, I've spent a little bit of money on it myself every now and then, but not an absolute fortune like some people will. So
Not free radical levels of Gyms of War here.
I couldn't say. I don't know. I've no idea what that means.
Did he say like three? He didn't say 3,000, did he? Maybe 300.
I didn't know if he was kidding or not either, but I think he was being serious.
Oh god.
You have to let us know, Free Radical, if you were being serious about that dollar amount.
Although I will say
he
that
said
doesn't.
just last year he spent like $600 on Gyms of War.
So
wasn't
probably 3,000 then. Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, it's
And I have that game on mobile. It's all right.
I mean, you hear of people spending them kind of amounts on like. Obviously, I play FIFA as well.
The whales.
Like, you definitely get the whales that spend those kind of money even on like full Xbox games and stuff, let alone on mobile games. So it's like
Totally.
But I mean, that's one thing that I've heard that even with FIFA, like, is that Belgium have like completely eradicated the purchase of FIFA points.
Yeah, Belgium won out apparently too.
Yeah, and it's apparently going to spread to like Amsterdam and other countries throughout Europe soon as well. So, like, they're going to have to change the way that they do their business in terms of making money. Like, if they're not going to be able to sell FIFA points, so that's a totally separate thing anyway. But yeah, Contest of Champions, it's something I play almost every single day on my phone. Like, it's just a good time waster for if I'm not doing something else, and I enjoy it, and that's the main thing. When it comes to games, you enjoy playing it, then don't stop playing it, as far as I'm concerned. So.
Oh, I know all about those mobile games. You heard of Marvel Strike Force?
I've heard of it, never played it.
I just checked. I'm on my 300th consecutive day logging in for.
Would you say that's better or worse than Florence? Because that's how I judge the level of excellence.
Like 4,000 million billion times better than.
Oh hell yeah!
Get in there.
Get in there.
Good stuff.
He's telling lies. I'm just saying.
They're what?
I said you were telling lies, trying to get people into your crew. It's cool.
Yeah, we do have an alliance. Hit me up if you would like to get in.
Risky, stop sending me spam emails about the alliance. I'm not joining.
I'll get you guys one of these days.
Hey, if I would have got that role on Deadpool, I might still be there. But
Uh-oh.
Hey, Deadpool's real easy to get right now, Moose. Let me try to sell you. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to try to sell you, but he is really easy to get right now. So come back
But
anytime.
for real.
And if
if
Strike Force isn't your thing, and you're thinking about Contest of Champions, then let me know. Like, I can make room in my alliance for it.
Everybody plug your alliances here.
Is this one of those situations like Anthem where the more friends you have playing, the more like in-game money or
Boost you
something
get.
you get?
Not quite. Not for. I don't know about Strike Force.
Not
it's a
exactly.
pyramid scheme.
It's just.
Totally a pyramid scheme.
It's kind of like that. In Marvel
Oh god,
Strike
I
Force.
just realized that's totally what the Anthem thing is. It's totally a pyramid scheme.
Hey, check out this cool game. And you can get points while I get points at the same time.
I have no vested interest in you getting this.
And if you act now,
Use my promo code.
yeah.
You guys are making these games seem awful, but they're so good.
Link in the bio.
Fair.
Stop it. Get out of here. I want to talk about. I'm sure Moose wants to talk about this as well, and I'm sure Chocolate's going to love to hear about this. Moose, you've been playing some Gunman Clyde.
Can't put it down is what I heard.
What do you mean playing? It's over.
All right,
I'm
we'll
done. The
chronicle.
collection is complete.
What happened?
It's terrible.
Okay.
You
Fair
run
enough.
as this. It's like a side-scrolling cowboy shooter that's like literally like pencil drawings.
What if you're
That's
really
what it
into
is.
pencil drawings?
Then it's your game for sure. But other than that, I can't recommend it to anybody. But listen to Chocolate. It's game of the year, so it's probably somewhere in between there.
gosh.
I need to play
yeah.
Florence so you can tell me if it's better or
and
worse.
if,
than
if you're
Florence.
looking for
I feel
something,
like there's a
just
segment
like if
in
you're
the
a
making
speed,
here.
if you're a speed runner, this is a game for you because it took me. Well, it looked like Chocolate. It took him like an hour 40 to play the first game, and I beat it in an hour. So I'm not sure if he forgets to push the pause button at the beginning of the level while he's yelling at his kids, or I'm not sure.
Or
But
the
there's
hired
40 minutes in there that I can't account for. And then the second one was a little better. And I don't know. I think that one took me about an hour and a half. So
what were the?
if you're into speed running, you can like the boss fights are decent. Everything's just really simple, I guess. So we got to quit talking about this game.
Can I just ask you what the major differences were between 1 and 2? Because I'm interested.
Yeah. No, 1 just basically had just 2D platforming. In 2, they took a giant step and had a few of those 3D stuff flying at you, and you got to dodge it and then shoot other things out of the way levels. So, they took a big leap there. And
God.
Total Destiny 1 to Destiny 2 situation. Yeah.
Exactly. And the boss fights, like the very last boss fight, spoilers for chocolate only, because who else is going to play this game, is this giant robot, and you have to like basically break him down as you jump up him. And once you beat his brain, then you've beaten the game.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good would you say the lore is in Gunman Clive universe?
What lore?
There it is.
I don't even know of any lore. There's like no cutscenes. You can play as like a duck apparently after you beat it.
I have heard about this.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. And then in the second one, there's like a handful of characters that you could play through. But let's face it, I'm not doing more than one playthrough of that game.
But it's only an hour long.
Yeah, I've already wasted 2.5 hours. We're good.
All right, fair enough. We can move on. Don't want you to
please.
get too worked up.
Don't worry, I got a nice cup of hot chocolate here to keep me calm and soothed.
Keep you centered.
Ooh.
There you go.
All right. I hopped back into Red Dead Redemption 2 these past couple weeks. I don't think I talked about it last week or the week before, though. But I'm trying to get that done. It's not a chore. I made it sound like a chore, but it's not, I swear. I'm in Chapter 6, and I'm getting pretty close to the end of this. I can tell. Anybody who's completed it knows that something happens with this is really tough to talk about without spoilers.
Yeah, it sure is.
But you can tell that I'm coming up on the end of the game here, and I've really enjoyed it. I think once it started, it kept getting better with all the problems aside with travel and everything. At this point, if you're in Chapter 6, you've learned to cope with the travel and the traversal of the horse and all that crap in some way, like playing Switch games or mobile
something else
games.
to do.
Yes, exactly.
I can say basically with Red Dead, without spoiling too much, he should have came to Colorado, but not for reasons that you'd think. Doc knows what I'm talking about, right?
I think.
All right, that's pretty cryptic.
I'll explain it to you later.
But yeah, so I think I should be wrapping this up. I promised a friend that I would have it done by the end of the month. So 10 more days and only 2 epilogues to do after.
Oh, wow.
You're going to do those?
Yeah, I think that's part of the game, right?
I don't know.
He's seen it through
I
at this
haven't
point.
done it, and I consider it done. So
Are you serious?
let me know at the ending if you think the game's over or not.
All right, I will. Yeah, that's it. I'm still playing it, still enjoying it. It has its issues, sure, but all the story in there is all really good. Side quests included, because I'm not just skipping from main quest to main quest at this point. Well, I'm picking and choosing, really, not doing fetch questy stuff, but yeah, it's good. All right, next, Pumped BMX Pro. Moose, this is a Game Pass game, right?
New in Game Pass last week. Yep. So
what is it?
It's basically a trials type game, but you're on a BMX and everything's with momentum. You don't have a motor, so basically you hold down the A button to charge your jumps, and then you have to do tricks and land it perfectly in order to keep your momentum through the next jumps and next set of jumps. And it's pretty challenging for me so far. So I'm like on the 5th or 6th tutorial, and I can't get past it. So
Oh boy.
yeah, so that's why the next game on the list I went to trials because I wanted to feel good about myself.
Because you wanted something with an engine.
Well, I wanted to be able to finish the game, so I had done that. I'd done this it's like a triple jump, and I couldn't keep the momentum on the last jump to finish, and then you'd have to do like a 360 backflip with a bar spin and a 720, and you'd have to in order to complete the level, you have to do all these things, and I was just struggling, just hitting the jumps right with straight airs to get the momentum to finish the track. So I went to trials, and I have that game beat now.
Dang, isn't...
Trials can be pretty difficult too, I will say.
Yeah, it does get tough towards the last levels.
Yeah.
Trials Fusion, is that That's not the new one, is it? The new one's not out yet.
No, the new one's actually, I just heard, I think I was listening today, and the beta is going to be out at the beginning of March.
I heard that there were a lot of issues with development recently. That with the latest Trials game, though, wasn't there? It was behind schedule or something. That's why it should have been out by now, right?
Right, yeah, I thought it was scheduled to be released already, but the beta, I believe, is the beginning of next month. And it's going to be an open beta.
Yeah, the Trials Rising open beta, for anyone that's interested, is February 21st to February 25th. PS4, Xbox,
Good thing you
PC.
looked. Everybody would have missed it.
Thought I'd check quick. Okay, so do they not have an actual release date then? They must not if they're having issues. But maybe it's soon because I feel like they should just say that somewhere in here. But the full game will launch on the 26th. What?
Oh,
There
okay.
you go.
Well, yeah, classic open beta.
The open beta that's the day that ends the day before it launches?
Launches after it's gone gold.
Huh. So maybe that's just a stress test because I thought I heard there was cross-platform play in this between certain consoles. So certain consoles and PCs, just not PlayStation, I think is what I was trying to say.
We have a story about that later, funny enough.
Okay, perfect. We can talk about that later then.
Nice foreshadowing, Doc.
I'd be better at it.
Fists. Playing PUBG.
Yes.
Anything
Yes.
new happening in PUBG? Any new stuff?
A lot of glitches.
Oh, perfect.
Right?
Glitches, you say?
Glitches. Yeah, but I mean, obviously, like PUBG is like my battle royale game out of all the other ones. I'm not saying it's better. This isn't me saying I think PUBG is better than the other ones. This is me saying this is the game that I go to play a battle royale game. Like,
Understood.
So I'm not trying to say this is better, but
You're trying to shit on Blackout. I hear you loud and clear, dude.
Yeah.
Obviously, me and Lion Prime spending a lot of time playing on the new map called Vikendi. It's the snow map. And yeah, we've come across a good few glitches while playing that game. The one that's been probably the most to happen is we'd be driving along and either we'll all of a sudden glitch through the map and be underneath the map, so we'll actually be driving underground. Or
Perfect.
As you do.
Or, as you may have seen with the clips that I uploaded to the club the other week, all of a sudden the vehicle we are in takes off and we are doing our best ET impression, just sort of driving along
did
through the air.
I saw that was one of the best videos
Like,
I've ever seen.
I
I just, and you can see you just looking around, being like, "What's happening?"
Yeah,
Like, with
it's
the
like I
camera.
didn't realise it straight away. Like we were driving along, like Lion's driving, and he says, "Are we taking off?" And I just suddenly start looking around. And I'm like, I'm not sure. And then just all of a sudden, yeah, we're blatantly like about 10, 15 feet above the ground, like just driving along. And it's not the first time. It's happened to us a couple of times, and there has been the odd occasion where me and Lion Prime will be in a house. One of us will be looking out of a window, and we'll say to the other person, "There's a car flying through the air about 20 feet over there." And we'll just we'll look out the window, and there's like, sure enough, there's a car flying through the air, like as if we're watching someone else take it, as if someone's stolen Harry Potter's car out of the Chamber of Secrets.
Oh my god. Can you still shoot and stuff out of the car when you're flying around? That's pretty good combat advantage.
Oh yeah, at one point I was saying to Lion that first time it happened, I was like, man, if we stay up in the air long enough, like we can just drop grenades from up here on people into the circle, like if we can keep this car up high. So sure enough, after about 30 seconds, we crashed into something and just fell straight to the ground. So
They heard that Fortnite had airplanes, so they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll check out this Jeep."
There was one other glitch we came across for the first time the other day as well, which was quite funny. Where I didn't see this, but Lion did. Where I was driving the car this time, and Lion was like, "There's people floating in the air, like just over there." Like he was just saying the people were floating, but then as we got closer, it turned out the house they were in was completely invisible to Lion. So even though they were indoors, Lion could see them and all of the loot that was like in that house. And as soon as we got closer, like we parked up a little bit of a distance away. I did record this one, so I'll upload this to the club soon. I parked up not too far away, and then they obviously heard us parking up and opened fire at us. But we knew where exactly they were in the house before we'd even parked up, because Lion could see them. Like there was no house, there was just the people floating in the air and all of the loot. So he knew who was in there and what. was in there before we actually stopped.
Is this just happening with the Vikendi map, or is this?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is
What?
just Vikendi. Like, I've no idea what's. I've never seen anything like this in any of the other maps. So it definitely adds a bit of a new dimension to the game, I guess, having to work around all the glitches and stuff. But it's
Right.
but it's we despite it being annoying at times, because if you're trying to get away from people shooting at you and you suddenly glitch through the floor, and then somehow find yourself back up on ground again about 20 feet back from where you went underground initially, it can be annoying because you might find yourself getting shot by the person that you were just trying to drive away from. But
Can
at
you
the
shoot at
same,
people from underground?
nah. Well, I don't.
Damn.
We've not tried that.
You gotta try.
We will next time, because it's bound to happen again at some point. But we still find it funny, like, even though we're just having a laugh when this sort of stuff is happening, because we think it, especially when we start taking off, it's just so funny, just flying through the air in a car. But yeah,
Hey,
I
as
mean,
long as you're having fun, that's all that counts, right?
that's it. And despite all the glitches, we do still get the occasional chicken dinner. We've had a hell of a lot of second place finishes recently, so it's just our end game. Those last kills that are catching us out at times, just getting ourselves positioned incorrectly when it comes to the end of the game.
Yeah,
So,
that's definitely the biggest part to the final circle. It's just if you've
being in the
got-
right place at the right time.
Yeah, if you've got position, that really makes or breaks games. So, well, good stuff. I still want to try out the Vikendi map, but I'll keep saying that and keep not playing it, I'm sure. So, there's that. All right. Doc, did you dabble in some Metro Exodus this weekend?
Did.
How's that?
That might be the best looking game I have played on this generation of consoles, actually.
That's running at 4K, right?
Yeah, and man, does it look really, really freaking good. They have done some next level stuff with the lighting and just like certain scenery and just like when you're walking into certain areas or certain rooms, things like that. They have done just a excellent job with how good that game looks. This game is a pretty big departure from what the first two games were. They were pretty linear in terms of how the story progresses. So this one is still linear in the sense that you are still going to go from a chapter to a chapter, but you will progress to different open areas where you'll have a map and basically free roam to go wherever you want in any order and kind of do whatever you want in that area. And the story has been... I've said this about all the Metro games, but this one, I feel like they've really knocked it out of the park. The story is just really well written. The writing, the character dialogue, all that stuff is just super good. This is... I can easily see this being on my top 5 games of the year for sure. It's exceeded any expectations I might have, I had for like a Metro sequel, but it just couple that with the graphics, the weapons editor, like you can all the different attachments and stuff you can do with your weapons, and this game has a much bigger focus on scavenging parts and stuff in the environment, and kind of it's still a game where your ammo is very scarce. You have to kind of be conscious of that. Bullets are no longer a currency. Pretty much you're just scavenging.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, you're just scavenging to make bullets at this point. There is no currency because, spoiler, you're out of the Metro. I am going to give away... Well, actually, no, I won't. I won't give away what happens at the beginning because it is a pretty big bombshell that gives a new light on the first 2 games as well. That happens within the first chapter, really, and is the reason why you leave the Metro and you leave Moscow. And, of course, you have this idea of what's happening in the outside world, which also turns out to be not the case. It's a really well-done story. It's got a lot of really good, like, holy crap moments to it. And, like I said, I can't speak enough to how good this game looks. It is drop-dead gorgeous in terms of how good the graphics and just the setting and the scenery, everything kind of comes together. It's really, really well done. Really good story, really good writing, and gameplay. It is a Metro game. Feels just like the previous ones, but Really good. Would highly recommend checking it out, or at the very least checking out the previous 2 games that came before this one. But yeah, it's really good. Enjoying it a lot.
I watched a recap of the first 2 because I planned on getting this day 1, and then I heard about the length of it. It sounded like it was about 20-ish hours if you weren't going hard on every side thing or whatever.
Yeah, I would argue that that's pretty. I would say that's a pretty conservative length too. I would argue this is more of a 40-hour game. Really, I guess I could see if you truly. I would say if you truly beelined everything, it probably is in the 20-ish mark. But I don't even know how you would do that with certain chapters in this game. How you would even necessarily like beeline it like that well.
Well, that's good to know, I guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's. I would say. Realistically, it's in the 30s, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the good thing about this being a single-player game is that I'm sure it'll be $30 in a couple weeks. So.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, inevitable.
But so I watched the recap videos, whatever, the first 2 stories, and I didn't know anything about. I'm gonna forget what they're called, but the ancient ones or the
dark ones.
The dark ones.
Yeah, they kind of dropped that thread with the there's something that happens at the end of Last Light where is a reason why they dropped that thread for this game, that they are not a part of this game.
They have to do with like the good ending and the bad ending.
Also, yes, that is so Last Light, I got the bad ending the first time I beat it. I went back and played it again and got the good ending, but yeah, there in Metro all the games do that. They all have multiple endings too. And in Last Light, it depended on whether or not you killed people that surrendered, or like basically if you were, you obviously could kill people, but if you were killing people that had surrendered and stuff like that, it would give you the bad ending. You had like a karma scale basically.
So why were you killing all these people that had surrendered, Doc?
To be fair, and when I explain this, you'll be like, okay, it kind of makes sense. In Last Light, you come across like the 2 big factions you have to interact with because you're a part of an order that you're just out to help the people. You're a part of this. It's literally called the Order, and you're out there helping people in the Metro, regardless of who they are. You're just there to help the people. There are also all these political factions. There's a Nazi faction. There's a communist faction, and they obviously hate each other. So there were points where there were Nazis that had surrendered that I probably shot and shouldn't have, but you know what?
Always
they were Nazis, so
no, you're right.
Yeah. So but the game clearly thought that was a bad move though in terms of the ending though. So
yeah. So did they pick a canonical ending of 2?
Yeah,
like when you start up
the good ending is the canonical ending because you actually die in the bad ending of Last Light.
Yeah.
Because it's a last stand. Like you'll hear them talk about in Exodus what happened at D6. They're referring to what happened at the end of Last Light, basically, and there was this humongous battle, like this last stand. So the good ending, you live, and something specifically with the dark ones happens. I think that happens no matter what, bad or good ending. But in the bad ending, you die.
Okay.
Something that is weird about the bad ending, though, to Metro Last Light is that you die, and Anna, who is your wife in this game, becomes your wife at the end, insinuated after Last Light. If you die in Last Light and get the bad ending, it's insinuated you had a kid with her, but you have no kid in this game. So I guess clearly that is definitely not the canonical ending. So
so they picked one and went with it.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went. Yeah.
How are the scares in this?
I am at now a chapter to where I am in the. I'm in the desert, or in a desert region this is post-apocalyptic Russia. Clearly, I don't think there's any deserts by the Caspian Sea. I'm almost certain there is not. But there is in this game because nuclear apocalypse, et cetera, et cetera. And there are these, like, almost golem-like creatures that are very dusty and tan-looking, and they blend in with the ground, and they will hug walls in the ground and not pop up until you're right on them and attack you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, and it's even creepier when you walk into an area like ruins or something, and you look on a wall and you spot them before you get too close, and you can shoot them. But it's so creepy to see them hugging a wall, and you spot them before they even know you're there. Like it's really creepy.
Have you seen any Rockalo stock?
The what now?
The Rockalo. It's a rock buffalo.
I have not. No.
I saw pictures of them on the internet. It's real.
It's real.
Yeah, they have some weird
Look
animals in that game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There always has been in those Metro games. Like it is. It's such a good. like I talk about all the time, like how games build a fleshed out universe around them. This is another game where I highly recommend to read the journals you pick up. I almost never do that in video games, but I do in the Metro series because it's just so good at fleshing out the world around you. It really is. The story is really, really good.
Good. I will definitely be picking that up at some point. I planned on renting it and trying to beat it in a weekend, but if this is truly a 30 or 40 hour game, that's going to be tough because I'm not the chin doctor. So,
Aren't the other two in Game Pass right now?
yeah,
One of them is at
Or
least.
one of them? I forecast this game being in Game Pass in about 6 months.
Oh, that would be awesome if it was, because it's super good. Yeah.
fine. I won't buy it at all.
Fine.
Deal.
I've seen the remasters of both of those, sort of the first two. Have been on sale quite a lot recently.
Yeah,
like,
crazy good deals.
like,
I think at one point you could get both of them for like $10 or something.
I'm sure
Yeah.
I picked up the remasters of the first two for quite cheap at some point.
Last thing I'll do to sell you on this game, the first main area you come to is this like icy region with a big lake, and there is a cult there that worships what they call the Czarfish.
I'm
It's
in.
a giant mutated piranha shrimp like thing.
All right, done. I
So
guess
it's
I will
pretty
buy
great.
it.
I am
Pretty great
sold.
actually. Yeah, Czarfish.
A
There you go.
giant mutated piranha shrimp is what sold you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I was
Hey,
flip flopping a bunch
Hey,
there, but
don't knock it till you see it, man.
the Czarfish, yep, done.
I was sold at Cult.
Watch.
Yeah. Oh, there's plenty of cults. Yeah. This is Oh, you'll find plenty of cults in Exodus. So yeah, that is there are plenty of those.
Wonderful. Okay, Moose, Destiny 2. I heard you today in Discord say that you might maybe be done with Destiny 2. What's going on?
No, I persevered, sir.
Oh,
Since we
Uh-oh.
talked last, I made it to the hidden, forbidden, crystal, whatever city it is. So I
Nice.
made it. I guess last night I was playing it, and you had to spawn a community event or whatever those things are, and I killed whatever looked like chieftains. And then after the whole thing was over, everybody left, and I was standing there, and I still hadn't had my little box checked, and I was like, "What the hell?" So I thought I got hosed, but then I jumped back on this afternoon, and a different community event popped up, and I killed those 3 chieftains, and lo and behold, that was my secret to getting into the Crystal City. So, or what is it called? Does anybody know?
nope.
Fortress of Solitude.
No, that's definitely not it.
Fort Tarsus.
Nobody likes Superman. No, not for Tarsus. It's like the Crystal City or the Hidden City, something like
Oz?
that. But I thought that was just
Crystal
like another NPC area. But as soon as I opened the gates, I was attacked by a bunch of whatever those shadow characters are with the white light around them.
The
I'm not a
Taken.
story guy. Yeah, the Taken.
That's a lame welcoming party.
Those guys. Yeah, and so I'm fighting my way through that until I had to come do a podcast. So where we're at with that.
Our bad. We'll let you get back to it in a little bit here.
At least
I
you can
wouldn't
pause
be
in that game,
anywhere
though.
else
So
in the world but here for you guys right now.
Aw.
You can take that out if you want.
Who's he?
No,
He's got-
definitely not editing that out.
he
Crocodile
ain't,
too.
he ain't fooling me, Moose. You're going back for a second run at Gunman Clive after this.
Dude,
He's
I
been
thought
playing
we
the whole
all
time,
swore
actually.
to never speak of that game again.
Whoops.
you haven't done the Duck B run.
Not gonna. Ain't gonna do it.
It's not gonna happen.
The duck beer.
It's like what's her name's like when you play the Resident Evil game, you've got to play both characters.
Yeah, you do like the B
You
run.
haven't
Yeah.
finished the game unless you've done the duck character.
I just love in Discord how Chocolate was like, he was just like, you could tell he was being serious, and he was
Yeah,
like
he's
so
like, "Now
sly
you get to
about it. He
play
was
as a
like,
duck."
man, the game doesn't really open up till you do like the, until you get to the duck, play as the duck and have that run. I'm just like, I don't believe you.
I'm not
It's
gonna
just-
be doing that. Sorry.
Exactly like when you do the run for a Resident Evil 2 as like that bar of tofu.
yeah.
That's so weird. I wonder, because last episode we actually gave away an episode of Gunman Clive, the complete collection or whatever. If you stayed past the credits, it's probably still there. I'm wondering if you try to put that code into an Xbox right now, if it's still available.
It probably is.
So,
Nobody wants that game. Put it in the pile with all Orion's Assassin's Creed. Was it Rogue?
Unity.
Unity. There you
Oh
go.
yeah,
Put
the
it all
99
in
cent
that
CD
pile
keys,
with,
yeah.
Mellified's copy of Fallout 76. Who else is trying to get rid of games right
The
now?
island of misfit codes.
Yeah. It's like Sid's bedroom of toys in Toy Story.
Oh my god, that's so perfect. Someone needs to Photoshop it. We just need Sid's bedroom with these, just the cover arts for all these different games on the shelves and stuff.
Right.
Real quick, while we brought up Resident Evil 2, because I know we won't talk about it again, but or I don't think anybody here's played it either. But
No way.
YouTube, sometime people have in that game they have went back, and every time the precursor to the Nemesis dude shows up, they overlay it with X Gonna Give It To You by DMX.
Yeah,
And it is
he's called Mr.
literally
X.
the best thing ever. The internet has gems sometimes, and that was one of them, and it was really good.
That's so good.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to talk about another mobile game?
Nobody.
Woo!
Hey, I heard a woo. Moose, if you have to go to the bathroom, if you have to let your dog out or anything, take the next 5-10 minutes. You're good.
Okay, I'll go check and see if my kids burned down my house because I've left a 5-year-old alone for at least 45 minutes now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Seeing as Chocolate's not here this week, we may as well have one of us go away to go and check on something at some point.
Yeah, we'll see you in a half hour, Moose.
Okay, I'll be back.
It's fair. That's a good point, Yusuf. That's true.
All right, so the game that I want to talk about that's been eating up a lot of my time, surprisingly, is called Landgrisser Mobile. So Landgrisser, if the name sounds familiar, this is a game that was on Mega Drive and Sega Genesis in Japan in like the 90s. The very first game did come over to the U.S. At one point under the name Warsong, I'm pretty sure, on the Sega Genesis, which, again, no one has probably heard of.
I'm just looking it up now.
Yeah, so there was these 5 games that were made way back when. Whatever. This is literally 2 decades ago plus some. So they just came out with a mobile game. It came out in the end of January. It's a collectible game, which Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Contest of Champions, those type of games where it's like the best people for your team are going to be randomized, which is obviously where the microtransactions come into play, blah, 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 blah. But the combat in this game, which is the main component, obviously, is it's a turn-based RPG. So think like Wargroove or Fire Emblem, because it's that grid-based, turn-based. Is there a good name for that? Grid-based, turn-based?
Classic RPG.
Yeah. I just say Advanced Wars like or whatever.
Or Advanced Wars like. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So think that that's going to be your combat, and that combat itself is actually really, really good, especially for a mobile game. This whole package here is super polished, and with a combat system like this, it's a ton of fun. Your heroes, obviously, you can get different ones. It has like the rock, paper, scissors type of combat where it's like archers will beat like the cavalry, will beat swordsmen, stuff like that. So you know which type of characters you need to bring into battle and whatnot. You can level them up by getting different gear, blah, 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 blah. And one thing that's different about this one, though, is that you can add, each character has their own little personal army that they bring with them. And what you can do is you can actually substitute the armies within those. So you can have, like, a cavalry guy he's your main guy doing damage and whatnot, but you can also bring archers with you instead of just more cavalry. And you can edit up, or you can level up those little armies as well. And there's a ton to the combat here. They all have different passives. The main characters have like passives, and you have like ultimates and specials, this kind of stuff. It seems super technical and tactical. And if you're into these type of games, I think this is a super good one. And the last thing I will say, well, first, Doc, I will tell you, because I wrote this down because I thought you needed to know, the best value for Trinity crystals.
Okay.
So we're dealing with more crystals, obviously.
Okay.
3,000 Trinity crystals for $99.
Okay.
But
all right.
you get 3,000 free.
Done.
What?
Done. I mean, you're losing money by not getting that.
But speaking to that, which this is really weird, and I don't know if they're just giving you this premium currency early and like heavy, so you just get a taste of it and then you need more, which is probably exactly what they're doing. But like
Gateway drug.
I have 1,700 of these without spending any money. So if I can buy 3,000, well, technically 6,000 for $100, and I already have 1,700, maybe don't spend your money on it. But I don't think you need to. At least the point I'm at in the game, I haven't felt the need to actually pay for stuff. So a couple of the game modes. One is they do have real-time PvP once you get to a certain point. So you would be playing this turn-based combat against somebody else on their phone, like picking your units, they pick their units, and you fight, blah, 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 whatever. So just that being like real-time against another person is pretty awesome. But they also have modes where you can just fight against the bots for that. And then the last mode, and the last thing I'll say about this, is that they have a mode called the Time Rift. And the Time Rift is essentially a bunch of mini missions with little stories at the front and end of them that chronicle the first 5 games that actually came out on the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's like each world you go through, you're playing through one of the previous games and getting like the main points from that game with the characters from that game, because like the Time Rift, your main characters went back in time to these characters, so you're meeting the characters from the original games and fighting alongside them and stuff. Super cool. A lot of interesting stuff going on here, and it's brand new, so if you're into this type of like gacha game where you're trying to get stuff and like with live events and blah blah blah, this isn't, we're a few weeks into it, so not a bad hopping on point if you're interested in the type of game. Yeah, that's me trying to sell Landgrisser. I'm sure there's guilds. Actually, I know there's guilds. I'm not in one yet though, but when I have one up, I'll let everyone know what that is, because everyone's super interested, I'm sure.
Actually, I actually am, because as soon as you said Advanced Wars like combat with like even like the Fire Emblem style, like yeah, I mean I'm all about that, especially if it's well done. So
I think definitely give it a shot. I know Shine booted it up. I haven't heard back from him, so hopefully that means he's so into it that he just doesn't even want to talk about it, because that's how into it he is.
that's all he's playing. He doesn't have time to talk.
Or he uninstalled it like 5 minutes after. So whatever.
I do think that's cool what you said about the Time Rift thing, because like that's a super innovative way to have like a let's say Kingdom Hearts 3 situation where that comes out and there's like 7 previous games counting DS and PS2 and everything, came out before. That's a super interesting way to like make it a fun in-game experience of a way to get people up to speed on stuff,
Yeah, when I opened that mode, I was like, all right, this for a mobile game, this thing seems like it's doing a ton.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, this is a game I feel like I could be playing on my Switch and like that I would have paid $20 for or something. Like it's free as well. So
yeah,
it's definitely worth a shot. The game is called Landgrisser again. So yeah, if you're into that type of combat, that style of combat, the Advanced Wars, Fire Emblem, that kind of stuff, definitely give it a look.
With that $20 you just saved, go pick up Hive Jump.
Yeah, you could do that. I probably won't do that.
No, you.
Someone else could definitely do that. I'm just kidding, Moose. I'll definitely buy Hive Jump someday. I promise.
I don't want you to. I want to have that good game all to myself.
Well, that's great. I like that a lot. It's all yours.
Perfect.
Moose, are you still trucking away at Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah, a little bit. I made it to Monsters Inc. land.
Okay. Did you go through the Frozen world?
I haven't yet. I opened it up.
Okay.
But I have not made it over there in my gummy ship.
It's the only world worth going to.
It was it was a weirdly specific question I just asked. But one of my coworkers is playing Kingdom Hearts as well, and she said that the Frozen world was her least favorite because they pretty much just ran you through the actual movie, but it seemed like every other world kind of just used the characters and that world to tell a different story, but it kind of seemed like Frozen to her was just replaying the movie, which kind of seems like it sucks.
They all seem like they're pretty in line with the movie, so I don't know.
All right, so she's a liar. That's all you have to say, Moose. Done.
Yeah, they all,
I agree.
Tangled cuts her hair to save Flynn Rider, and let's see. What other parts can I
Toy
spoil
Story.
for you? Toy Story. What happens? Oh, we've got to rescue somebody from the pizza place or the toy shop. So it's just like the movie. Hercules, you have to beat all the Titans, just like the movie.
True.
So I'm
all right,
not
fine,
sure.
I get it. Point
There's
taken.
literally word for word cutscenes that are in the game that are exactly like the movie.
Not to lay it on too thick, but
I only have 3 little girls, so I don't watch Disney movies very often. So maybe I could be mistaken.
You are the de facto ruling authority that I go to for that kind of stuff.
For girl stuff, perfect. That's what I wanted to be known for.
Well,
Just
the
princess
Disney
movies.
collection at least.
Oh, just anything princess. I'm your guy.
Well, good. Glad you're still enjoying it, kind of, maybe.
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's really repetitive. So I think I can play one mission a week or one land a week and still enjoy the game. But if I was trying to grind through that thing, I don't think I would enjoy it towards the end because the guys are pretty much the same. You get new heroes to fight with next to you, but all the bad guys are just those little shadow characters and different variations. So
Sounds like Destiny.
yeah, exactly. I'm still playing Destiny
Nice.
too, though. So
Fair enough. Well, you're the last one, Moose. Blackout and Apex, before we talk about our main game. What's going on in those games for you?
just anytime you have time to play with me, I play them. So
Yeah.
Oh, well. Shots fired.
no, I really like I want to get good at Apex, but it seems like we get too frustrated with it to get good at it, so we just go to Blackout because we want to win. So I don't know. I'm enjoying both of them. I am almost ready for something new, which I hear is coming up in Blackout. So
Yeah,
I'm
new
ready
season
for
should be coming up in the
something
next
to be
few weeks.
changed. Yeah, and might be some new features on the map too. So I'm excited to see what goes on there. And I'm excited for Apex. I'm ready for something other than Fortnite and something to be the new meta as far as multiplayer games go. So I'm all for it. I love Titanfall. Just make Titanfall 3, please.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, please make Titanfall 3. The one thing I thought that was kind of a dumb addition, but the more and more I play Apex, I think it's it's cool in a weird way. Is that it shows you the team kill leaders at
On
the
the
beginning of a
banners?
match.
Oh,
On
yeah,
the
that
well,
too.
not only that, but on the banners and the beginning of the match, because it's funny how the outlook of your chances of success
Oh, yeah.
are affected by your teammates when you go to a match. It's like, and here's your kill leader, and it's like 3,000 kills. You're like, well, screw me. There's no way if I face that guy, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Or you'll get into a match. It's like the kill leader has 4 kills. It's like, all right, equal playing field. It's anybody's game.
I will say that a super satisfying thing in Apex is when you get a kill in the map, and then it's like, you killed the kill leader. And you're like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, the
See
champion
ya.
is dead.
Yeah, Apex is good, but Moose, like you said, I usually can't get through enough Apex matches to get good at it because I usually get frustrated and go play Blackout.
Right. Exactly.
Because do you have more fun winning or do you have more fun losing? Come on.
I don't know. I get carried either way, so
Stop it. You're a great addition to the team.
I make good call-outs when I'm watching your guys' screen.
The best dead guy I know.
I know. And I tell you
The
what I had
one
in my
thing-
loot.
Yeah.
The one thing that really annoys me about Apex, it's not about Apex itself, but it's the fact that Chocolate claims to be the best at that game out of
I
everyone
played
in
with him.
Discord.
It's
Oh,
a
you mean
lie.
champion? You mean the champion?
The Apex
He-
legend.
So you're referring to
Yeah,
He's
that,
the
Apex
he,
legend.
or
he
legend?
claims
Yeah.
to be the Apex legend, and it's like I want someone to be better than him. Just anyone,
He's not.
anyone
dude.
in Discord.
I have
to
more
be
wins
better
than him,
him.
and I quit
Yeah.
this game after 3 matches every night, so I don't bring it, Chocolate. I'm not scared of you. Send Chris or Eric or whatever your butler's name is to me.
Like, if
It's
anybody
just
can die in
genius.
Battle Royale games faster than Moose, it would be Chocolate Bear.
True.
It's
all
usually
these
the
big,
parachuting
stupid
on the way down.
animals.
There we go again. Just trying to get rid of friends. Anyway, anybody looking for Anthem or Blackout friends? I guess I'm a free agent at this point, so
Oh, don't say that.
I'm just joking.
It was funny. I think it might have been Mellified that posted this meme in Discord, but it
Yeah.
was the Apex meme. That was like, you can tell if you were the 4th in PUBG or Blackout, with Anthem being only
And it's
trios.
just a guy sitting by himself.
Yep. But hey, you still get that
that's-
call
that's-
once in a while.
That's brutal. That's so brutal.
But it's so true. It's hilarious. It's like you have this core 4, and then you play a game that only needs 3 all the time, and you're like, well, I can contact 2 people this
Gotta
time,
make
not
cuts
3.
somewhere.
But luckily for me, and I might be talking out of school here, but Apex is Dan's trigger game, so he does not.
Yeah,
enjoy
Dan
that
Pod
game
hates
very
Apex,
much,
so
I'm in there.
So you're in.
I'm kind of interested to play a game of Apex with him because a Dan trigger game to me sounds like verbal comedy on the mic, in my opinion.
Oh, it's verbal
so.
something. Verbal aggression, hatred. I don't.
Just lots of words.
Lots of words. Yes, that's a fair assessment. All right. So the last game we're going to talk about today, that all of us except for Doc apparently have put a decent amount of time into, is Anthem. The 10-hour EA Access trial is currently live. The Origin Access trial is live, and if you're an Origin Premier member, you have the full game, which is some BS because I'm trying to save up my the remaining like 5 hours I have for EA Access. I'm trying to just use it Thursday night because I took Friday off, so I'm trying to just attach that 5 hours, make it work up until midnight. So start at like 7, go to midnight, trials
Basically
done,
doing,
full game's out,
yeah.
nailed it.
You're doing what I did with Battlefield 5, like I rationed out my time.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I've already used up my 10 hours.
Have you really?
Yeah. I got through the majority of my 10 hours probably by like Saturday night.
Damn.
How close to 30 did you get?
I'm up to about level 12, so I'm not even halfway yet.
12?
But
I'm
yeah.
at like 14.
I was like, you're doing something wrong then, because I think I'm at like 12 or 13. I've only played 5 hours.
I just unlocked Grandmaster 2. Is that good? Is that good? Or
Okay, Dak.
is that bad? Or
Did I win? High score.
I did spend a lot of time just sort of getting used to like the environment and just like taking the time to actually look around. I know there were people that were like they were getting on their 10-hour trial and they were like, right, just hammer out as many missions as they could, just wanted to get as leveled up as possible in the 10-hour trial. And I was
Exactly
like,
what I'm doing.
Yep. That sounds right.
I am
I
smashing
was
the
like,
B
if I
button
do,
as
if
fast
I
as
get
can
all of that
every
done now,
cutscene.
then what? Then when the game comes out, I'm going to be fully leveled up, and it's just going to be like, well, what do I do? The game's out now, and I'm already max level.
You wait till March 15th, and then you play Division 2. We've been over
Right.
this.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the DLC for Anthem. It's called Division 2.
Well, I'm not gonna rush my way through. I can't now anyway, so it means that I've got more. I've got a lot more gaming on Anthem to do once it
definitely.
releases at the end of the week.
I will say for Thousand's viewpoint, I think he probably is in the right state of mind for Anthem because I think you play the way you play, like get through the story to end game in a game like Destiny, but I still don't get the idea that that's what Anthem is. So like maybe it is one you're better off just to enjoy the story because that might be the big chunk of what you've got to, do.
It's a BioWare game at the end of the day, and like if there's one thing I've always had faith in with BioWare, it's that they can tell a good story when they do it right.
When
Yeah,
they
but
do
there's
it right.
one NPC in there named Owen, and that guy will take up half your trial with just little quips and tips of the day. You don't have to do all that crap. Just smash B, smash B, smash B, start
Smash
the
B,
mission.
smash B.
Yeah. It's-
Dash, 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 smash B.
That's I don't know. That it does make me nervous because like you just said, Fists, like there's one thing you have to hold out for, and it's a good story in this game because BioWare, sure, but the 5 hours I've put in, there was one cutscene that seemed to do a really good job of explaining some stuff and what was going on and some of the background, whatever. But every interaction I've had since then with like NPCs and stuff is just the worst.
Yeah,
I
get it over
can't,
with.
like Moose said, that dude Owen that you talk to, he always has a stupid thing above his head, like, hey, come talk to me. And then I talk to him, we have a conversation, and then it gives me a dialogue choice at one point, which is non-consequential. Like, I'm pretty sure it doesn't change anything at all. Maybe it steers the conversation a little bit one way or another, but having to talk to him is horrible. I don't know if it's just the way it's written or what. But Owen's awful, and the who's the other guy? The quest giver.
The guy in the octagon room.
That's the other thing. Like I can't even think of these guys' names. Because, what is his name?
Matthias.
No, not Matthias. It's the guy by the like bounty board or the mission board or whatever.
Yarrow.
Yarrow. That's his name. The guy. Someone called him Optimus Prime.
Nice.
It's not that far off from Optimus Prime, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting a ton out of it story-wise so far, except for, like I said, the cutscene that I saw was really cool and really well done.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully, there's more to that. I'm hoping that this story content that we're going through right now lasts like 20, 30 hours. I think that would be awesome. So you're not just rushing to end game and trying to like go directly to the loot part. It would be nice if the journey there was something substantial and was a good story. But I'm not sold on the story aspect of it yet, I guess.
No, but otherwise, other than the story though, like visually, like when you're just playing the game, it looks amazing, and the gameplay itself is brilliant. As
So
far as
fun.
I feel like it is really, really enjoyable to play.
That's what are you? What's everybody maining? Fist, what are you?
I'm playing mostly as a Colossus.
Okay, Moose.
I was playing Colossus and Ranger, so I had a lot of fun with both of them. I want to, level up all four, so that's kind of my idea behind leveling up my first one as fast as I can, and I can catch all the story bits on my second character. So
It definitely. Have you been playing any of this alone, Fist, where you're like not in a party with a bunch of people and stuff?
No, like for the most part, I've actually been playing mostly with Blade out of everyone else from the community.
Okay.
A little bit with Chocolate at the beginning of the 10-hour trial, but then he was, you can't, I'm doing finger quotations, he was working over the weekend, so
I laughed.
he wasn't able he wasn't able
hey,
to
he's
join
a
us
shift
over the-
manager, guys. That's serious.
I don't know how you're a shift manager and you work 16 hours a week. Moving on.
So played a so yeah, I played a little bit with randoms at time as well, like over the course of the 10-hour trial. So I've had a bit of a mix of playing with randoms and with Discord members, and yeah, I've never actually had done anything on my own over the whole point of it, and it's always enjoyable. The only downside I would say to playing with other people is that you do sometimes miss out on, like, obviously we've discussed the whole story bit, but it is more difficult to pay attention to the story when you're in a party with people and everyone's talking,
Yeah.
like, in the party. So you do sometimes feel like you miss out. So I've got the subtitles activated anyway, so I tend to be like reading through them at the same time as listening to people just in case.
Because that's why I originally asked if you were playing it by yourself, because like I love story in games, and that's usually like what draws me to certain games. But when I'm in a party with Moose, who could care less about the story, and like my buddy,
Doesn't shut up.
my buddy Tyler that I played with a bunch, it's both of them could care. They're the skip the cutscene guys, and like with the actual cutscenes, I was like, all right, everyone, shh, and then Moose would say something. No, it's still cutscene time. Everyone be quiet.
And I'm just sitting at the forge, just tinkering with my robot. It's like, all right, are you guys done yet?
So yeah, I don't know. I might have to go back through and listen. It's just that the stuff that I tried listening to, and it's Owen's fault. I swear to God, he's the reason that I don't want to listen to any of the NPCs in Fort Tarsus, because he's the worst.
There's one guy I think that's probably worse than Owen. Like,
Oh, good.
The character's name is Neeson, and he's like stood, like, you know where those giant doors are, like opposite where you park up your javelin when you're not in it.
Yeah.
You like walk to the other end of the market area, and there's like these giant doors. He's like stood in just behind those doors, in between the two sets of giant doors. He just stood there, and when you talk to him, he's just made up a load of gossip. He's trying to gossip and make up a load of lies and stuff about other people in Fort Tarsus, and you can't help but think like, man, this guy is like the biggest douche around. Like when you're talking to him, it's like I knew straight away. I was saying this to Blade at the time when we were partied up as well, and he's the worst as far as I'm concerned.
I can't wait to meet him.
He's got some stuff to tell you.
Like you said though, the gameplay is king in this game.
Yeah.
That I have a little bit of a reservation with the gameplay, just because it seems like all the missions that we've played so far are super repetitive. So I hope that the game is a little more, not thought out, but
varied.
there's a little more depth to it, yeah, as opposed to let's go find this person. Basically, I feel like a search and rescue guy, because we're always just rescuing somebody. And somebody's always in trouble, and you've got to go get them, or you've got to go retrieve something. And it just feels like we're the search and rescue and retrieval business for Fort Tarsus.
Or like the last one is go plant this thing and then stand in this circle for X amount of time until it's detonated or until
the research has been done. Isn't that what it is? It's like some sort of data collection thing, and
let your ghost at a terminal, and then
Yeah,
he'll say something, and then the horde
basically.
comes. You have to defend the terminal, and
And that, I think, says a lot about, like, these are, because Fist, when you said something about, like, the story, you have to give them a chance, blah blah blah, but, like, these are the, like, main story missions we're playing here, and they're literally all the same 3 types of missions. And if people are talking over the comms, yeah, okay, you're just telling me a different dude's name that we're going to save for some reason.
Another
maybe
freelancer. Apparently, we're the only able freelancers in Fort Tarsus, because all we're doing is rescuing all the other ones because they get themselves in sticky situations.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's tough. It's also a loot and shoot game, and a games as a service game that's supposed to last us years. So obviously, at the very base point of this, it's obviously this will probably be the worst the game ever is.
Right.
I think that's fair to say, that it's only going to get better from here, and it's not bad. It's
a whole lot of fun.
When you're in game fighting, it's great. It's just, it seems that everything that's going on outside of the actual combat seems pretty mediocre at best. Like Fort Tarsus is the worst place in the world.
It could be.
They talk.
Why are we trying to save this place? Like, it so sucks. Like,
right, and they said they like made it so you didn't have to slowly walk around. So you're briskly walking now instead of walking slow as molasses. They didn't up the walk around speed, and it's like every person you need to talk to is in like a weird different corner of Fort Tarsus. So you're just, oh, let me skip that stuff. And all the load screens, for the love of God, I've never seen so many load screens. I bought a $99 solid state drive in the middle of an Anthem session because I was thinking about how much better my life could be if these load screens just went a little bit faster.
That's what tipped you over.
If you want to edit any of your gear, you have to go into the forge. There shouldn't be a loading screen. I should hit start and my loadout should be there. I'm in game and flying from a big open area into like a cave or something. You see a little archway symbol, and that's when you know you're about to fly straight into a loading screen, and then you'll come out of it. But it's just, I don't know, in and out of these loading screens. And this game has been in development 6 years, right? I think that's right. Just seems like they really should have some of these edges a little more polished. But their focus was obviously making the game look really good, because it is a looker for sure. And like I said,
it feels good too.
For the 100th time, the combat is great.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy though, like all the like quality of life complaints you just had, that you know, we give Destiny a lot of crap, but a lot of stuff they got pretty right on that, and it's crazy to think that this came out in a post like D1, D2 world with these kind of like quality of life issues.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree. Like I said before, this is the worst it's going to be, and those quality of life things should be added throughout its life. But yeah, they definitely had a lot of time to look at these other loot and shoot games and look at the quality of life.
What did they get right? What did they get wrong?
Exactly.
Because think about it too. Like, what was the biggest complaint people had with D1, D2? It's that you're in your ship in loading screens all the time. Can we cut down on these loading screens in the ship?
And they did
to,
that.
like time. And they did, whereas like Anthem's just like, nah, man, loading screens. We're not even gonna put a ship in them. Just they're loading. Like,
so this is another Crackdown like game for me, where it's like, if you know what you're getting yourself into, if you know the issues that it has currently at this state, if you can get past those things, you're gonna have a lot of fun. And like, if you're a loot and shoot person, I still think you're gonna love this game, is because just picking up the gear, or like seeing your first like blue rare thing pop up on the screen is like, oh my god, it's something awesome. Let's see what it is. And that's one cool thing about this, is that you don't actually know what loot you're getting until the very end. So you pick up all these little like blue diamonds or green diamonds, and then it tells you everything you picked up at the very end. So you're just kind of like waiting and waiting and waiting until the end of the mission, which is kind of
that sort of anticipation. Like, you know you've got something rare, and it's like, oh, I wonder what it is. Like, until it makes you want to get through the mission that little bit faster.
It's because they have to be decontaminated, so there's a story reason behind it.
Division reference, love it. Yeah. I don't know if anyone else has anything to add. I feel like I just talked for 30 minutes there. So
Did you just go see a Thieves on us, Risky?
I think so, yeah. But it wasn't all positive and gushing like Doc does.
That's true. No, Anthem's good.
The best game ever.
That reminds me I need to pre-order the game. So if you haven't done so, you got a couple days.
Do it. All right. We good? Everybody talk about everything they wanted to talk about this week in gaming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, great.
I still got to play Anthem, but yeah, other than that.
Well, hey, you got plenty of time because this game's going to last at least 10 years.
There's a 10-year plan, guys. It's gonna be great.
Your
Heard that
freelancer will
before.
not carry over to the next game.
But you'll have a great loading screen at the very beginning of the next
Fort
game.
Tarsus is
Oh,
going to
but it did.
explode and your vault is going to disappear.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Spoilers.
couldn't you carry your character over, but they just blew everything up so you didn't matter?
I think that was
And
pretty much it.
Yeah.
I don't think. Well,
Yeah, because I thought you could transfer your character over, but then
no,
within
you
the
had
first
you
20
create a
minutes,
new
they
one no matter
destroyed
what
everything.
in
Yeah.
D2. Yep.
And then in about 4 years, EA will separate from BioWare.
Yep. And then we'll get
Yeah.
Anthem 2, and it's going to be the best game ever.
Then we'll get Mass Effect and
Mass Effect
Knights
4.
of the Republic, and it's gonna be great.
Yep. All right. Okay, so we are going to move into a new segment to the show. This is we're already running kind of long, but this is just an intro to what this new segment is going to be. The name of the segment is Game Pass Roulette, where every other week we roll the dice on a Game Pass game and let you, the audience, know if it's a hit or miss. So what we're doing here is we are randomly going to choose one of the games from Game Pass. I have a list of every single game in Game Pass at this moment, and I will obviously update it every other week when we need to do this. But we're going to put it into a random picker thing, and then for 2 weeks, the hosts and whoever, that's the cool thing, you can all join in. We're going to test out these games in Game Pass, and then we're going to let you know if they're good, if they're bad, worth your time, worth the download, and whatnot. So, with all the games in the random name picker, I'm going to click randomize.
So excited.
All right, so it's not WWE, Doc. I am sorry. I know that's what you were pulling for.
Next week.
We actually got Hello Neighbor
Okay.
for our
All
first
right.
game, which I haven't touched
All right.
it, and I wanted to look into it when it was first coming out. So this could be an interesting one. We are
That's
going
the
to
one
have
with the joy?
with the what?
The joy.
No,
Just
that's
the
We
drug?
Happy Few.
Oh, dang it.
This is with the crazy mustache guy chases you around. I
Yep,
think.
yep.
Yeah, you're the
The
neighbor that's
Burbs.
like snooping on him and stuff
Right?
like.
This is the
yeah.
Burbs.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Basically.
Nailed
yes,
it.
Yes. 100%.
Got it.
that.
All right. So now that we have our game, we will take the next 2 weeks to play a little bit of it, play a lot of it, see how we're feeling about it. Everyone in the community, you guys can all feel free to play this game as well. We will have a channel in the Discord that's for Game Pass Roulette specifically. So feel free to talk about it there. Feel free to ask questions if you have questions for us for the show about this game. And I don't know, hopefully this is fun, a fun way to kind of, what's the word I want to say? To pick through what's good and what's bad through here. No one knows the word I'm thinking of.
Sift? I don't know.
Good enough.
Weed out the bad games?
Yeah, sure. And it's based.
Find the
that's-
diamond in the rough?
Yes.
How many more metaphors do you want here, Risky?
We will find all the diamonds in the Game Pass route. That's all I wanted. So obviously, this segment will be a little bit longer in 2 weeks because we'll actually be talking about the game. But, yeah, Game
Get
Pass
rid of the
Roulette.
bad apples?
Yes. Thank you, Moose. We're good.
Nailed it.
All right. Anyways, with that, let's get into the news. All right, Doc, what is in the news this week? Quick hits.
Quick hits. So, in our ever ongoing saga with Sony and crossplay, we're into it, we're not into it, who knows kind of story.
We're in beta.
Sorry guys, it's ongoing beta. They're kind of testing everything out. This comes from Kotaku, and it's an interesting story because it's kind of like we heard one thing from Sony, and then people got out and was like, actually, nah. So here's how the story goes. A recent interview with Game Informer, the chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios said the company, and this is, Sean Layden is the chairman of Sony Interactive, said that the company was open for business. People keep saying, why doesn't Sony allow more people to have it? All it takes is for publishers and developers who wish to permission it, as ever, just work with your PlayStation account manager, and then they'll walk you through the steps that we've learned through our partnership with Epic on how this works. I don't believe right now there is any gating factor on that. I think we are open to make proposals because the Fortnite thing has worked out really well. So that came out of Game Informer basically saying, hey, there's no issues. You just talk to your account guy and cross-play for everybody. We're all winning. So later that day, on Reset Era, Finn Bryce is the CEO of Chucklefish, who developed and published the recent Advanced Wars-inspired Wargroove, took issue with Layden's characterization in a thread about the interview on the game forum Reset Era. Quoted in saying, "We made many requests for crossplay, both through our account manager and directly with higher-ups, all the way up until the release month. We were told in no uncertain terms that it was not going to happen. Just wanted to provide some balance on the issue and say that it certainly isn't a question of developers having not contacted their account managers or having dropped the ball," Bryce wrote. "We were told emphatically no." So, turns out, this is kind of a bad look for Sean Layden. I mean, because, this is an ongoing issue that Sony's got. Like, clearly Fortnite and Rocket League kind of forced their hand with their popularity, but I don't think anybody's under any kind of guise that they don't want crossplay as the market leader. And it was kind of interesting. I don't know why Sean Layden got out and said the stuff he did, to immediately just have a developer be like, nah, that ain't the case, What do you guys think about this?
I think it's
just Sony being Sony, right?
Yeah.
Kinda.
And wasn't a few months ago that he was preaching about how they'll never do this? Like, I think his literal quote I just brought up on cross-platform. Our way of thinking is always that PlayStation is the best way to play. So no cross-play. Oh wait, maybe.
Well, apparently, Risky. All you gotta do is talk to your account manager, man, and they just turn it on. It's not a big deal. We're into it.
So no one must have ever approached them. It's crazy.
Yeah. Turns out nobody ever asked the account manager. It was that simple.
Huh. Well, good for you, Sony.
Kind of not a. This is something to where you have to imagine somebody at Sony's just like, oh my god, just turn crossplay on. Just stop this story. This is whatever you want. You can have it. Just stop. But this
is why it will always be an exclusive machine for me.
Yeah, same here. It's the HBO box. It's my, high quality exclusive game machine, and that's that. Yeah. But I don't know. This just continues to be a bad look. If I was Sony, I would just not talk about it anymore, right? Would that not be the smart move to do at this point?
Just we've already addressed it. Next question.
Yeah. Or just if you are gonna cave and do it eventually, don't say anything about it. Just one day make your announcement. Hey, we have crossplay now. We don't need to talk about it. It's there. Everybody can stop complaining.
Right. Then it's a non-story, and you don't have to worry about it again. This is just like a guy coming out and kind of straight up. Am I correct here in saying that he kind of pretty much straight up lied? It looks like. I mean, just
somebody's lying.
Yeah,
they couldn't be any different.
Yeah, you could not have two different stories. Yeah, come out.
They're just changing their mind. They're realizing what's good for gamers.
It's going to be one of those things you can see that they'll be like they're going to announce crossplay really, really quietly, and then it'll come up again at some point in the future and be like, we announced that ages ago. What are you talking about? And
we've had it forever. We've always been into that.
Dig back and find it. It's buried there somewhere in the past.
We've always been into that. Yeah.
I feel like Sean Layden's the type of person who's super easily offended. He always feels like he has to defend himself.
Yeah, or he takes it personal in a weird way.
Exactly.
I guess, Yeah.
Everything's a shot at him, not his company.
Yeah.
Well, quick hits.
Moving on. Nintendo had a Direct, guys. They had a Direct. They had a thing.
Yes.
They had a Direct. We had some pretty good announcements come out of this. I guess depending on what you're into or not into, to me, the one that stood out right away was Super Mario Maker 2 coming to Switch. full-fledged sequel. Any of you guys play much Super Mario Maker 1 or played levels that were made, or did you?
Was
you
that
know,
just Wii U?
that was just Wii U? Yes.
I never played it.
So no.
Okay. Well, cool. That's yeah.
But
Okay.
that seemed like one of those titles that kind of just like Mario Kart 7 and all these other games that are recently being ported. Like it seems like a perfect one. It's obviously not a port, but this is going to give people the ability to experience what the Mario Maker games are, which is just Mario platforming. You don't even have to make stuff. It's called Super Mario Maker, but you can literally just play other people's levels and just play Mario. If
Right.
you're into it, it's great.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so it looked cool. I think the thing that I thought was going to be the most interesting to see was the Wii U had a touchpad and a stylus, which made a game like that where you were editing levels extremely, I guess, easy and kind of straightforward. I guess whereas this does obviously the Switch does not. So it'll be interesting to see how it kind of controls and stuff with all that.
I bet it's all handheld with the because the screen is touchscreen.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. So maybe it is all handheld for the editor part then. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. Moving on, we've got Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. This is a complete remake of the. I feel bad because I don't have the system that the original one came out on listed.
I would assume Super Nintendo.
So probably, yeah. I mean, it's definitely been a while, yeah. I never played this Zelda. I know it's one where it begins with you washing up a shore, an island,
lied.
but I have never actually.
Let me correct myself.
Yeah.
Game Boy and Nintendo 3DS.
Okay, I thought it might have been a handheld. Yeah. Okay. But it's getting a full remake treatment, similar to A Link Between Worlds. It actually reminded me a lot of how that game looked actually when they showed it off. So. Yeah, it's I don't know. Any of you guys excited for this for another Zelda game, or it sounds like none of us played that one, so this would be a fresh game for us.
This is a point of contention with me with Nintendo. They have these mobile games or mobile console games that they release for $35, and then they remake them, remaster them, whatever, and then they release them on the Switch for $60. This game feels about like a $30 game to me.
I completely agree.
With that said. Because it's interesting you say that because when I compare it, because it looks just like A Link Between Worlds, that was a 3DS game. That was not a full price $60 game. Yeah,
right.
I agree.
And now it's a $60 game.
Yeah.
I'm calling
Nintendo.
Bullshit.
Nintendo.
If you got to.
You bring up a good point. I felt that way for a while actually, Moose, in the fact that I feel like Nintendo rightfully or wrongfully gets away with a lot on re-releases and how they price re-releases.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this might be one of the most.
And charging $60 for it.
Yeah, and they really play off people's nostalgia a lot, and to a fault. To where I get it, it's a business. You're in the business to make money, but like they do stuff that is borderline anti-consumer when you look at how they price stuff.
Right.
But. I'm sure this game will sell crazy, but yeah.
I paid $60 for Mario Deluxe and Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, so they got me hook, line, and sinker.
And those
I'm
are the straight
saying that
port
I'm happy
games,
about paying
right?
it. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, at least those were at one point, a full price $60 game, but like
5 years ago.
Well, yeah. No, hey, I'm on your side. I agree. I mean, I 100% agree. I've always kind of felt that way, though. I've always felt that they kind of rip people off on that stuff, but people still buy them. So.
But isn't that kind of how everything has gone? Everything is a remake of it feels like the movies. Everything is just being remade from the '80s now, and there's not a whole lot of
new ideas,
new things out. Yeah,
you have that, but then you have instances of like Resident Evil 2 where I can get behind paying $60 for that because that was a full remake from the ground up, and and I can be like, okay, I get it, like. It's not fresh material, but you didn't port this. This was from the ground up,
Right.
Where this kind of looks like it could have just been. They took exactly what it was and then just redid the graphics.
An eShop.
They had the whole thing.
This is
laid out already.
Yeah, this is a sequel to Link Between Worlds on 3DS that is using the game the storyline of the previous Link's Awakening. Yeah. I mean, like I highly encourage people to look up to A Link Between Worlds on 3DS and this because it does look literally like the same engine and everything it's running. It is that game. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm sure it'll sell well, and everybody went crazy about it. So, I don't know. It's Nintendo.
We'll see.
Other announcements: Tetris 99 got announced and released. You guys like Battle Royale?
I have yet to get this one. But this is a genius marketing scheme for them, I think.
I agree, actually. There's sometimes where I can totally appreciate when a company was just like, hey, what if we did this? That's crazy. All right, do it.
Come play our free game,
thing.
but you got to pay $20 to get to it.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other bag of issues. But, yeah, I don't know. Any of you guys pick this up and play it, actually? Or
Not yet.
Nope.
Not yet, okay. I've heard good things about it, actually.
It's
for
a
what it's
cool
worth.
idea. It's just 99 people playing Tetris, and you can
Yeah.
knock people
Well,
out with, like...
Yeah, you can choose who you send your lines to, or if you pick
Yeah.
random, then it just sends it to, whoever's in first place. Or
Yeah.
Cool idea, for sure.
Yeah. Also, just to wrap up, there were other games announced, but I kind of wanted to do some big hitters here. Hellblade actually is getting ported to Switch.
Yikes.
I thought that was kind of
It looked
well,
terrible.
yeah. Also, yikes, yeah. I feel like that's been the story with a lot of ports, though. It's like I feel like you get the people being more along the lines of, "Oh, isn't this cool that they managed to do this?" versus the people that are trying to be realistic about, "Man, how's this going to run?" kind of thing.
But
you
do
know?
you really
Like,
need to hear voices mobily?
Like, I've...
Sitting on the bus
don't know.
with headsets on, just
you
hearing
definitely
people.
you definitely get the idea that this is definitely that Nintendo takes the skew of thinking like, oh well, these are people that have a Switch and nothing else. But I'm like, how many people is that really? But maybe
yeah.
I'm wrong to think that.
It feels
but
like 0 is the answer.
I think
yeah,
a lot of
'cause
families have a Switch, kind of like the Wii was.
And those
True.
families probably aren't playing Hellblade.
Playing
They're definitely
Hellblade.
not playing Hellblade.
or a game named
or
Hellblade,
Wolfenstein or Doom or any of those other
Doom,
AAA ports.
or a game named Doom.
It
yeah.
was, as far as this direct goes, it was Hellblade and then, what's the horror slasher game that isn't Friday the 13th? Dead by Daylight, I think.
Yes,
Like
yes,
those two,
yeah.
I don't know. I
It
don't
looked
see
really
them
bad,
running
too.
well on this.
You talk about running well. It doesn't even run well on an X, let alone
Yeah, so
It's like when they announced Ark Survival Evolved. It's like can't wait to see how that runs like hot garbage on the
Right.
Switch. So,
Just a bunch of gritting everywhere.
anyways, also worth noting, Fire Emblem Three Houses got
Woo!
announced. I'm sure there's Fire Emblem fans out there. So
me and
yeah.
Shine.
There you go. Anime. Hey, I'm just kidding. Moving on. Quick hits. So this was came out as a rumor, later was verified by more than one person on varying gaming websites, so it kind of looks like it is panned out as a possible leak. Originally, a QA tester came out and said on Reset Error that Modern Warfare 4, which would be the next game coming out this year for Call of Duty, was going to come with Modern Warfare 2 and 3 remastered, as well as a campaign. This was also linked by several websites, including GamingIntel.com. Two things. What do you guys think about the inclusion of the remasters? Now, when they say this, I'm still wondering, because didn't they do that with the other Modern Warfare, but didn't they charge it in a deluxe package to get the
it was
remaster?
like $30.
I
Yeah,
think it was
yes.
$80 total for that package.
Yeah.
Or you could
What
buy
they said
just the
was, like-
remaster, and it was $30 alone,
Okay.
standalone.
Yeah, so this insinuates, but I don't know how the QA tester, well, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm assuming he was given a survey or something, but this insinuates it would, I take this as it's coming with the base package. Otherwise, why would you say that, you know?
Could be an Assassin's Creed type thing, too, where it's included in the Season Pass or DLC.
Maybe you're right, yeah. The other thing, the fact that it has a campaign, which is, you know, interesting, I think, in the sense that, like, they proved this year that you don't really have to have a campaign, and as long as you have a Battle Royale, it doesn't matter, you're going to sell like hotcakes. So that's interesting, but I think I still go back to the big question of, do they still go the route, and this is mainly for you, like you two, like Risky and Moose, because I know you guys play Blackout a lot. Do they still go the route of this will have a Blackout mode, not free to play in the $60 version of the game? Do you think they will still not separate the blackout or the blackout mode to be free to play with this new game?
I don't even know if this new game is going to have a blackout mode, to be honest.
I
Oh,
don't
there's
think
no
will.
way it doesn't.
I think Blackout or Black Ops is the only game that they're
You think so?
I
scheduling
think
to
it's
update their battle
I think it's an
royale.
Activision thing. Like,
Right.
Oh,
because
okay.
this is
All right.
Infinity Ward making this next one. And I would assume Activision is like, well, we don't really need that because Blackout is going to be ongoing with Treyarch. But then it's kind of like if I was Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer, I think is the other one, I would feel kind of screwed not being able to have this Battle Royale mode that just rakes in the dough. So...
See, I thought with how well it did, I thought it was just a default no-brainer that it was going to, actually.
I thought I heard on one of the podcasts last week that they announced that they were not going to have a Battle Royale mode.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's just weird because if you think about it, then it would be like they're on a 3-year cycle, so it's like you get one from each studio every year. So eventually you'd get these 3 Battle Royale games from the 3 different studios all trying to have like their Battle Royale be the best Battle Royale, but I also feel like they'd all be super similar because unless they add in like wall running and jumping, you pretty much just have Blackout anyways, like maybe with different guns and maps and stuff, but I don't know.
See,
I think it's kind of the way it got with kill
counterpoint would
perks at
be-
the end when they were all just trying to one-up each other, and then basically you're dropping a nuke on everybody and the game's over.
Yeah. My counter to this would be, though, at what point, though, does it not make sense to have a standalone free-to-play version, though? Because, like, with how crazy good Apex is doing, free-to-play standalone, not attached to any Titanfall, and it's free-to-play, you don't have to pay for it. Like, it's with how crazy good that is doing now, and with the proof of that model and how well it does with Fortnite, I think it's crazy if Activision doesn't make a standalone free-to-play Battle Royale. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm the crazy one because they're still making money on Battle Royale and selling a $60 game, so maybe I'm the one in the wrong here. But I don't know. It's just so – and it's even weirder to me than if only one studio does it every 3 years.
I think that, this is just my opinion, that they're trying to go free-to-play, but they don't know how to not piss off their loyal fan base.
Yeah.
That
Or
have
they
already
don't
all
want to let
paid.
go of the golden goose that
That's
is
true,
Modern
too.
Warfare selling $60 every year.
Right.
Or Call of Duty, yeah.
I think what they'd be more likely to do, this is just my personal opinion, I reckon that they'll come out with like just an amazing general multiplayer mode that has like all the maps for it, like, because you said about them obviously remastering Modern Warfare 2 and 3 and just include like all of the multiplayer stuff from Modern Warfare 2 and 3 in with Modern Warfare 4.
That'd be so
to have
good.
like an absolutely huge
Have like 40 maps.
just a general multiplayer like
wouldn't that be amazing,
expansion,
seriously.
right, to include those 3 games, and then obviously I don't know if they would be able to include the first Modern Warfare stuff in with that, considering they've already re-released that.
Just throw it in as a bonus.
a few years ago. So
Right.
Like, one is also in here.
I mean, that's what Activision's known for, giving us free stuff as bonuses.
Yeah, right. So could you I wonder if we get like a Halo collection style thing out of this. 'cause that
yeah,
would be
that's
dope.
kind of what I was. That's kind
That
of
would
what
be
I was
dope.
thinking along the lines of like the sort of the Modern Warfare collection
Yeah.
type thing. So
I
Oh
mean,
my
Modern
God.
Warfare 1 and 2
So
was
good.
my heyday, of Call of Duty for sure. Yeah.
See, when they were selling that remaster, I downloaded it for, I think you had a trial or something through EA, and I played it, and it just didn't hold up for me.
See, I was
And I was blown away the first time I played it on the PS3.
I was opposite of that, at least for the multiplayer. I thought it was super nice because, I mean, when they brought 1 back out, that was when we were all getting the weird double jump wall running fatigue. So when they were like, yeah, we're remastering Modern Warfare 1 and it's going to have the multiplayer, like all the maps, and it's like you only had like 4 or 5 guns to pick from. You had like 3 different whatever they're called, the things you can call in, like the UAV and stuff.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just
Airstrikes and
Perks.
stuff.
it was
yeah.
pretty awesome going back to just only having so many options, and like the movement and the gunplay was the same. And
Yeah.
All right, here's another. Here's this week's Moose's moment of shame in gaming. I played through Modern Warfare and just went and traded it back in. I just played the campaign and went and traded it back in.
So you never even played any of the multiplayer?
Nope, never played any of the
Oh,
multiplayer
I
on
had
it.
so many hours into that multiplayer. Oh, man.
So actually, at GameStop, the guy's like, "You sure you want to trade this in? The multiplayer
This is
pretty
kind of a
good
hot
on
thing
here."
right now. Have you checked out the multiplayer?
That's funny.
I was like, "No, I'm good. I like campaigns. We're good." and I got my $7 for my $60 game back, and
And everything was happily ever after.
so there you go. There's a story to make fun of me for.
All right. Well, yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure around E3 we will learn more about what the next. Because didn't Activision last year they had their own event right before E3?
Were they one of the one? I can't
remember.
I
I
can't
think they were.
remember
I think they
anymore.
announced it. I'm almost certain they announced it beforehand because they weren't at PS. They weren't at the PlayStation. Well, their weird whatever you call it they had last year, but they weren't in that. So I'm pretty sure they had theirs before. Because yeah, they did. Because remember that was the guy up on stage being like, "And are we gonna have wall running? No!" All the people yelling. Like it's so weird. It's like you guys were the guys that did that last time. Why you down in your own
That's
thing?
funny.
Okay, weird. Anyways, okay. So we'll learn more about it then, I'm sure.
Quick hits.
Moving on. BioWare says that they are not done with Mass Effect. There's lots of stories to be
Hell
told.
yeah.
This comes, yeah, seriously, yeah, hell yeah. Comes out of a Polygon article recently published, studio profile on BioWare talking about their past and future projects. In the article, studio leads Casey Hudson and Mark Dara both reflected on Mass Effect as a franchise, confirming that BioWare is not done with it, which, I mean, I want to say no duh, but, like, you better not be done with it also. So.
But also maybe don't be Mass Effect Andromeda 2.
Yeah, there's a good game in Mass. Like, I know Andromeda gets a lot of hate. There is a good game in there, but, man, did they launch that in the worst way possible.
I'm not
It looks good now.
right, and I'm not shitting on that game. I just think I need a new group of characters. I need a bunch of new
I can agree
faces.
with
I
that.
don't want
Risky
I
needs
didn't
more
necessarily like the
aliens
protagonist
to,
either.
To-
be promiscuous
Yep.
with.
100%.
Like those, yeah, that group didn't gel in the same way that like Shepard and Garrus and all of them from the
Oh,
original
totally,
trilogy
man. Oh my
gelled. Like,
Yeah,
you
you
know
just
what I mean?
didn't care
They,
about
Those
the
old Mass
characters.
Effect games were so
Mass
freaking
Effect
good. Like
2.
Mass Effect 2, I
Yep.
still was like top.
Best game of all time.
Like maybe top 5 all time.
Yeah.
That's where I
seriously.
jumped in.
Right,
I
always
jumped in at
that's
Mass Effect.
I mean, the
Effect.
T-1000 you fight at the end is a little weird,
Yep.
but other than that, pretty good. Moving
Wait,
on.
hold on.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. What I just wanted to say this to Fists. I was thinking when you're reading this, let's just cross our fingers that all of that great story we're supposed to be getting from BioWare, those guys are working on the next Mass Effect.
yeah.
What are you trying to say, Risky?
All
You saying the A team didn't get on the
guys
story
are not
department
in
on
Anthem?
Anthem?
I don't think so, guys. I don't.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. We're
All
not
right.
a story game.
Just wait till 40 hours in. Owen's got a lot of stuff to
I
say
hope not.
about the Anthem. Let me tell you. All
We will
right.
take up half your trial. I suggest the B button.
Hashtag don't let Owen ruin your trial.
There's a reason that I'm level 12 and used all my 10 hours,
Yep.
and there's a reason, and there's a,
It all makes
and
sense now.
there's a reason that like you guys are all level 12 and you've still got 5 hours
Yep.
left.
That's so funny. Owen's
Hashtag
still
shut
talking
up,
somewhere
Owen.
in yeah, Owen's still talking in Thousands game somewhere. Like he's still talking to him about the mission. All right. Quick hits. Moving on. Activision confirms per GameSpot that Activision is parted ways with Destiny and Bungie for lack of sales on Destiny 2 is the reason they cited the split, and that it was not so much a Bungie decision but a Activision decision. What do you guys think about that?
Nobody cares about your dirty laundry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like it's done. Who cares, right? I guess.
Nobody
But-
cares who cheated at the end of the relationship. It's over.
Did Bungie? I mean, Bungie never came out and said that it was their call, did they? Or did they?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. This does seem kind of like a. Oh well, yeah. I mean, like I'm dating a way hotter girl now, so yeah. That's that's.
That's
yeah,
they had
whatever,
what
Bungie.
record profits or something this year,
Oh yeah, that was yeah. Oh yeah, they yeah. So last week we should also state like,
and then they
which
laid
is
off
terrible
8%
thing. They
of
laid
their
off
workforce.
800 people across their
after they had
studios.
their best
yeah.
earnings of all time.
After they opened up their
They
call
started
with
the
the
call with that.
record earnings, yeah, on their call, which is like, man, what a way to lead into that.
You're all getting raised. Oh,
I
just
saw-
kidding.
I saw a meme online that said to start off the layoffs, they handed out 895 loot boxes with an 8% chance of keeping or losing your job.
Too soon, Moose. Too soon.
That's so
I
good.
thought it was hilarious.
That's such a good meme.
They did have I saw Ubisoft poke fun at Activision where they posted a transcript of their earnings call they had, and it was they also had a record quarter, and they said record quarter, 0 employees laid off. it's like
It's
yeah,
one of those big companies, or it might be Nintendo. They will not lay people off because they think that job security makes them work better.
And I wonder if maybe that's even a Japanese thing at that point. Like.
They don't fire you; they just cut your head off with a samurai sword.
No,
It's
I
called
know
seppuku.
with
So
Microsoft,
it's totally
I just
different.
read this
Yeah,
week. Microsoft, when they were developing all the Windows stuff, they had a project called Windows Dogs, and it was for the engineers that weren't performing, and they'd have to go down and basically archive all these dogs, and it was basically like a compilation World Book Encyclopedia of dogs. They had to go look up
Wow.
all these facts. And
That is
how to
some
care
messed
for them.
up level of
And that's how he incentivizes engineers to work better and work harder,
Whoa.
so they wouldn't get put on Project Dogs.
whoa.
Yikes!
I wouldn't say
At first,
that the
I
whole...
thought you were just saying they went down to a basement and played Nintendogs, which I'm like, I've heard of worse, things to do, but
I wouldn't say that the job
Basically,
security
you
thing
get
is
buried in
definitely
a
a
stock room.
Japanese thing, though. Like, I mean, look what happened with Kojima.
yeah.
So I don't-
Actually, that's a good point to the whole Japanese thing to counter. Yeah, Konami isn't exactly known for their workplace employee-friendly practices, so maybe Nintendo should be applauded for that. Yeah.
Right.
So. Anyways, that is the news for the
Quick
week,
hits.
guys.
Woo! Got
Hits.
it.
All right, so we'll end on some new games and a couple PSAs. Well, a new game. Yeah, Moose, take us through new games and a couple PSAs.
If you haven't heard, new AAA game coming out Friday, Anthem. I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Look for me. There's also a handful of games out on PlayStation that I'm not aware of what they are or how they are, but I assume, or I watched the video and I think they're all Japanese RPG games. So if you're into that, Cabo, go ahead and check those out.
You know who you are.
And the Switch will have another 300 games out this Thursday, so can't. There's no way to keep track of that.
I like how Switch is basically renamed shovelware to indie titles now. Like it's
just
it's
put
quite a
it
bit of
on
shovelware.
Put it on the eShop. We'll
Yeah.
sell it for $4, Gunman Clive. And let's see. So we got some crossplay news. Paladins is crossplay, cross possession. No, not possession. Cross progression, cross party
Possession works.
is now available to Xbox, Switch, and PC. Keyboard and mouse support are available as well. I tried to do this last week, and I found through the website that it's not going to be available till the 27th. So if somebody has been able to link it together, let me know how to do it because I have not figured that out yet. Also, Smite patch 6.1 brings crossplay and cross progression between Xbox, Switch, and PC.
Where's all the PlayStation crossplay?
Well, they got to talk to their accountants, and then they can turn it on.
Yeah, they just need to get with their game account reps.
Yeah, their
and,
manager, yeah.
Follow the proper channels.
Oh.
and they should be there.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I heard Sean Layden talk about it. It's super easy, actually. He don't know why they haven't done it
Yeah,
yet.
and then let's see. Switch Online added a couple new games. Super Mario Brothers 2 and Kirby's Adventure. If you're up for some nostalgia, go back and play those. And games that are leaving Game Pass at the end of February. So if you want to get in on these, you got to get in on them in the next 10 days or so. They're going away. Avon Colony, Dovetail Games Euro Fishing, Kyub, Kyub, I think that's how you say it. Lumo, Massive Chalice, Mega Coin Squad, Shadow Warrior, Sonic CD, and The Final Station.
Real quick, I
think
will
they're
say,
safe.
or go ahead, Roos. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I think they're safe going away because none
Well-
of those are on my hard
Colony, right?
drive.
I would say Avon
Avon.
Colony and Final Station are both pretty good. If you were gonna I would say PSA if you were gonna check out any of those before they left, Avon Colony is really good. Like a more dumbed down version of City Skylines, more relaxing city builder, I guess you could say. And then Final Station is a pretty cool 2D like survival ammo conservation game where you're going using a train to go from like town to town in like
Right.
the UK after a post-apocalyptic zombie outbreak.
I think I
pretty
watched
good.
a trailer for this, and it's kind of like old graphics.
Yeah,
Definitely
it
like
is
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. And you're a conductor.
Yes.
Okay.
Totally. It kinda, yeah, but it's actually got a pretty good story to it. I recommend it, and it's not super long. It's like maybe 4 or 5 hours at the most. So.
Well, good thing we didn't land on any of those for Game Pass Roulette, huh?
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. We'll have to look into that in the future. Games not to add because they will be leaving within 2 weeks.
WWE wasn't on that list though, so fingers crossed next time.
Well, there's a lot of games for that random generator name picker thingy to pick, so good luck, Doc. It happened once. I don't think it'll happen again.
Debbie Downer.
Anyways, let's plug this show up. Sorry for the longevity. It's been a long one, but it's been a good one, I think. What could we do better? Better content, yes. So, first and foremost, head to crossatlanticgaming.com. That is our website that has links to everything that we do and everything that's happening. Discord's where we all talk daily. Links for that are in the show notes. Come hang out. If you'd like to support us with your hard-earned money, you can head on over to patreon.com/CAG podcast. We just recently had our game drawing. Shout out to Viva Leigh Sweeney for winning that one. So plenty of time to sub and Patreon if you'd like to be included with next month's drawing. On Twitter and Instagram, you can follow us at CAG Podcast. We are active there every day. And lastly, cagpodcast@gmail.com. Send anything there that you feel like you need to communicate through email, which doesn't seem like it should be much. But monthly mailbag.
I think that goes to chocolate, so that's where you can send the hate.
Yeah, send all hate mail to cagpodcast@gmail.com.
Make it as vulgar as you want because he doesn't actually read them. He has hired help that reads them. So.
And somebody please send him some dick pics because he keeps asking me, and I will not do it.
Well, there you go.
And there's that. If you want to get a hold of me or find me, I am at Risky the Kid everywhere. Doc,
Doc H1X1 everywhere.
10,000 Fists.
10,000 fists everywhere except for Twitter.
F Twitter. And Moose.
It's Moosenstein 8314 on most places.
And PlayStation.
You know what it is.
I forgot. Can you remind us?
Go back to the 2 episodes ago.
Oh.
And with that, thank you everyone for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all new episode. Goodbye.
Peace.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Hashtag don't let Owen ruin your trial.
Going.
Actually, it's a BioWare game. You might be able to later. So
Yeah, fair. That might have been one of the options that we skipped past.
they talked
Moose.
about adding. They talked about adding romance options. So
Hey,
I'm
we
already-
clearly didn't choose the right dialogue option. So
why was 6 afraid of 7?
'Cause 7, 8, 9.
Wait, that was good, risky thing.